The Worlds have always been really important for American cycling. It was the one place that we could compare ourselves to Europe. To me, there was always two objectives in my career: was the World Championships and the Tour de France. The Worlds were, my version of the Olympics. I love the Worlds. It was always one of my highlights of the season, as long as the course was very demanding. My name is Greg LeMond, and I was world champion in 1983 and 1989. I discovered cycling only to get in shape for skiing, and I had no idea that there was a professional sport. I remember showing up my very first bike race with a yellow bike and a yellow jersey. A good friend, he ended up being a good friend, just looked at me with disgust because I was wearing a yellow jersey. Maybe 3 weeks later, in 4 or 5 races that I beat him, he finally beat me and he said, "Nobody wears that jersey unless you're the Tour de France winner." And I did not know what the Tour de France was, so he started educating me. So cycling was pretty an underground sport. I pretty much really quickly got into reading magazines about European cycling, the Tour de France, World Championships, the classics. My first racing bike was a yellow Cinelli. Very, very top-of-the-line bike at the time.
Yeah?
The only one in the town, the only racing bike in Reno, Nevada. Beautiful bike. Chrome lugs, stunning. So that's the bike I showed up with my first bike race. I think I was looking like a foreigner, somebody out of space, most likely. Especially I was blonde hair down to here. I didn't look like a typical European racer. I found the World Championships were a perfect format for me because I didn't have a strong team. A circuit would repeat itself and it would allow me to control the race a little bit more. I could race off the teams. 3 days before, and I think I'm gonna win. In my mind, I'm telling my wife, I'm gonna win this race. I got so nervous because I believed I could win it the night before that I couldn't sleep. I was so nervous that I ate breakfast and threw it up. And then I start getting psychologically like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be really tired. I don't know if I can do it. And I remember going to Cyril Guimard, which was the director sportif, and I kind of, like a kid, God, Cyril, I don't know if I could do well. I didn't sleep at all, and he just put a hand on my shoulder. He said, "Greg, all great rides are done with little sleep." So in 30 seconds, I'm like, okay, good, I'm not tired. It was a very difficult circuit. It was Altenrhein, and it was, I forgot, 3 kilometer, 4 kilometer hill with 2 or 3 kilometers descent, something like that. 4 or 5 kilometers of flat section. With 2 laps to go, though, I did an acceleration, kind of attack and drop around Argentine. And then Rupert stayed with me till the very last lap, and I just accelerated on the climb. Could see he got dropping. But I had still about more than halfway of the course to get to the finish line. Oh, joy. That's the beauty of a one-day race. It's sometimes winning the Tour is anticlimactic because you're worried to get to the finish. But the Worlds is instant gratifications. For me, it was the first big breakthrough, and it's the first time I realized I went from an unknown rider to a more known rider. My biggest objective was winning the Worlds at that age. I set that as a goal of winning the Worlds by the time I was 22, and that's what I did.
Tackling the new wave?
Oh, I don't know yet. I hope so. I hope so.
Greg LeMond atteint d'une balle dans un rein. Il s'agit d'un accident. Au cours d'une partie de chasse en Californie, le champion cycliste est actuellement hospitalisé. Son état est considéré comme sérieux.
And I didn't race the Worlds until 1989. I won the Tour, and usually when I get past the Tour, my form is the best of the year. And that's why I think, I look at the World Championships. At that time, it's 4 or 5 weeks after the Tour, and my legs were still really good. This is a course just made for me. Basically uphill, downhill, flat. That's what I like. When the race started, it started raining. Sometimes I don't always feel my best when it's raining. every lap I went by, I'm going, okay, when am I going to get dropped? When will I get dropped? When will I get dropped? But I never quit a race until that's the one lesson I have learned. Never ever give up until you can't go another step forward. And then my legs felt really great for the last couple laps. I was ready to go, but I felt he went way too soon. And I just waited and waited because I tried to time it so if I attacked, I literally crest the hill. When I attacked, I caught him very quickly. It wasn't about countering or chasing down Fignon. It was for me to time my attack to win the race. So I think Fignon probably assumed maybe I was chasing him down. That wasn't the case. Probably my most enjoyable race in the World Championships because I came down, I caught Fignon at the top, winning the race in front of Sean Kelly, which I said he's a top sprinter, so that was a very satisfying race for me. The rainbow jersey you wear for the whole season, so it's the only unique jersey that is with you for a year. And I think that plays part of that importance of winning the Worlds. It marks you as, people know the rainbow jersey. Perspective, I think it lends itself to a monumental event.